G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm FPL Roo and I'm joined by FPL Matt Day. How you doing, Matt?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Excited to chat some FPL after this international break has been a bit of a drainer, so I'm excited for some FPL chat.
Yeah, no, tell me about it. And we've got another one in 4 weeks, which is a bit annoying. I wish I'd scrap them, to be honest, and just play them in the summer, but I guess people need to qualify for tournaments.
True.
Yeah. So yeah, in today's show, so I don't really do live, so leave a comment below, let me know what you think. So yeah, we're going to be answering some of your questions. I've taken a few questions from Twitter, so I did put a Twitter, or X as they call it nowadays, the kids call it nowadays, put a post out to say send us through your questions for game week 9. So I put some of them on screen, but definitely send some through as well in the chat, in the live chat. And yeah, smash a like on this video too, as it really does help us out. And yeah, let's get into it. You ready to answer some questions?
I'm for it, mate. Absolutely buzzing. I just can't wait to chat FPL again.
Better than England, I guess, and Australia. So we'll start off with the first question. So is it worth selling Alvarez this game week by FPL Hive at chatstop11? So yeah, have a look at the fixtures. Obviously, a lot of people are thinking about selling Haaland, selling Alvarez, because of Man City's fixtures are not the best. So they've got Brighton, United, Bournemouth, which is a good game, obviously, Chelsea away, Liverpool at home, Spurs at home. What do you reckon, Matt? Is it worth selling Haaland Alvarez this game week?
It's tough because he's obviously gone away on international, played a lot of minutes. But there's managers like yourself that got him quite early. You've built up some value in him, so it's tough to want to sell him ahead of. But it's really all about if we can get some early team news on Man City, and if we really think he's going to play, it's such a hard call. But I'm going to be bold and think. Let's just hope assume he doesn't play this weekend because of the international, doesn't play the footy, and let's make the sale this week. If you need to get Watkins in or something like that, then yeah, maybe it's worth selling him for this game week. But it's easy for me to say because I don't own him. So yeah, it's a tough run coming up for City, and I think there's other options that you can get right.
Yeah, well, I am an owner, like you said. I did jump on him pretty early. For me, I'm not going to be selling him. I think people are kind of over-exaggerating a little bit on the fixtures. Yes, they are tough fixtures, don't get me wrong, but it is Manchester City. They've just won the treble, and I think Alvarez is playing so well this season. I think he's kind of stepped into De Bruyne's shoes a little bit, being that kind of playmaker. And I don't think the fixtures are that bad. So I think Brighton at home is a good fixture. They're kind of struggling. They're shipping goals. Man United, again, Onana's throwing them in the net. Bournemouth at home is a good game. Yes, Chelsea looked good defensively. Liverpool, Spurs, that is tough. But I think for the next 3, I would keep him. Let us know what you think in the comments. So would you keep Alvarez this week? Yeah, we've got FPL Tom in the building. Let us know. Would you keep Alvarez? And we'll move on to the next question.
Legend, welcome, mate. Welcome.
So next one is who would you buy between Hojlund and Watkins? This is from FPL Hive again. Here are the fixtures. Again, Man United have actually got some good fixtures. Yes, they've been not the best this season. The fixtures do look good. So they've got Sheffield United away. Yes, they've got the Manchester derby, but then they've got Fulham away, Luton at home, Everton away, Newcastle away. Watkins, though, has good fixtures too. West Ham at home, Luton at home, Forest away, Fulham at home, and then they've got Spurs and Bournemouth. For me, I'd probably buy Watkins. I'm not sold on Hojlund yet. I do think he is a good player and he is showing some promising signs. But for now, I think I'd probably go Watkins, especially with that Luton at home fixture a little bit earlier than Hojlund's one. So for me, I'd go for Watkins. What do you reckon, Matt? What do you reckon, Matt?
I've got both. I've actually currently got Hojlund and Watkins at the moment. So, but if I was wildcarding now and had to make a decision between picking one, it would be Watkins, because he's returned nearly, I think, every game week other than maybe one or two. And yeah, Villa have got some good fixtures that you mentioned on the screen, like home West Ham, always good to have a home game, home to Luton, Forest away, Fulham home. It's some really good fixtures. So for me, although I think there's potential for Hojlund and Man United, you got to go with the informed team and the informed player that we know right now, and it's Watkins.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would, if it had to pick between one of them.
Yeah, 100%. Shout out FPL Studs in the building. So he's left a comment. He's worth keeping if you have a decent bench for this week and the next 2 game weeks after that. So that's probably for Alvarez. Yeah, I completely agree. FPL Studs. I think the fixtures are not as bad as they seem, and I think that Brighton and that Bournemouth game as well for Alvarez does look good. We'll move on to the next question. So it's a bit of a specific question. So who would you bench from FPL Focus? So the teams: Johnston, Udogie, Cash, Trippier, Bowen, Maddison, Son, Salah, Diaby, Alvarez and Watkins. And then the benches: Aurier, Solanke, Gahey and Taylor. What do you reckon, FPL Matt Day?
You know what? I actually reckon he's picked the right team there. I think I would definitely bench Gahey, Taylor, that he's done. Looking at his lineup, would I fit Solanke in there? Probably not. I don't think there's anyone I'd want to switch out for Solanke. You could be, if we get news that Alvarez is going to be benched and he's obviously travelled back from his Argentina matches, then maybe you could take a bit of a risk and bench Alvarez and play Solanke. It would be a bit risky, but other than that, I actually think he's got it right. Areola against Johnston, I think they'll both concede and they'll both get plenty of save points anyway. So I'm going to say 95% keep that team. I wouldn't actually bench anyone, and I'd keep the bench that he's got. But the other 5% in me says, if you want to take a bit of a gamble, then maybe play Solanke over Alvarez because of the internationals. And that's all I'd do. And then I think, looking at his captain, it's probably about right with the lineup that he's got.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I'd probably Bowen or Solanke would be my throw up, but I'd probably just go Solanke, to be honest. So I'd probably start Solanke over Bowen and bench Bowen. But for me, I think the rest of the team looks really, really good. I guess it goes to show what you can do without Haaland, because that midfield is ridiculous, and the defence as well with Trippier, Cash, and I think Johnston's a really great pick as well. I'd maybe go for. It's a tough one because you've got Watkins and Diaby, but I'd maybe go for Areola over Johnston. But that is a tough one because I think they'll both concede, to be honest. So I'd probably just go Solanke for Bowen. We've got PSB in the building. It says, hello, legends.
Legend, big Man United fan. Loves his FPL.
Oh, great. Let me know, should I play Onana this week? Let me know in the comments. So next up, would you do Aurier to Tsimikas? So everyone knows Robertson's, I think he's dislocated his shoulder or he's done something to his shoulder, so he might be out for a few weeks. So a lot of people are looking at Tsimikas for, I think 4.4, 4.5 million. And to be honest, I kind of see where they're coming from, but especially with Liverpool's fixtures, Everton at home, Forest as well, and then Luton, them 3 fixtures are looking very, very good for clean sheets. And Liverpool have been doing okay defensively this season. and we know how attacking Tsimikas can be. It is a tough one, as Aurier does have Luton at home, so I'd probably just keep Aurier for now. I think if you don't have other players to take out, then you could go for it. It is a luxury move, but I feel like you're going to be wanting to take out Tsimikas at some point in the near future. So for me, I would probably hold off that move. What about you, FPL Matt Day?
Yeah, I'm the same. I think I'd keep Aurier for 1 week, give him that Luton home game, and hopefully he gets a big score. Look, the Everton home game is still good for Liverpool as well, and Tsimikas, but he's coming off some big games of Greece as well in the last few days. So I'll probably hold off for that 1 week, like you said. Then I bring Tsimikas in for that Forest home game, and then you get Luton out of him, Brentford home out of him, which are all pretty good fixtures. And then you could always bench Tsimikas away against Man City and play whoever else you've got on your bench anyway that week, and keep him from there. I think if you get Tsimikas in either now or game week 10, there's not going to be a huge amount of difference in his price anyway. So he's someone that you get in. If Robertson is going to be definitely out for 2-3 months or whatever it's supposed to be, then you got a starting Liverpool fullback who he's also been known to take a few corners and stuff as well for Liverpool. So I'd do Aurier in game week 10 and give Aurier the Luton game. And even if Tsimikas goes up 0.1 within a week or so, I don't think it's going to matter because Aurier could get a good score against Luton at home this week.
Yeah, 100%. I do. I fancy Forest to keep a clean sheet, definitely. And we know how attacking Aurier can be. But you could potentially get a red card as well, as we both know as Spurs fans.
I know he's very attacking, and he does pop up the odd goal, but he can also make the odd calamity. But good fixture for him, Forest.
Yeah, definitely. For me, the only other thing that actually worries me is how attacking Trent is. I feel like Robertson was kind of playing as like a left centre back rather than a full-on wing back. Because if Trent kind of pops into midfield sometimes, that kind of goes to a back three, I think. So that's the only thing I'll be worried about. Would he play a centre back there instead of Tsimikas, or is he going to be a bit more defensive because of Trent and the new kind of style of play? But it's just something to take. That's why it's probably best, like you said, to give it a week and analyze, see what he does against Everton at home. PSB comes in with another comment. So this game week is going to be eventful. I'm selling Carlton Morris and bringing in the GOAT, Big Dong Solanke. Yeah, I like that move. I actually really like Solanke. His next two fixtures are great. I think he's going under the radar, especially last season. He got 10 assists and about 5 goals, 6 goals. And he's on 3 goals, 1 assist at the moment. So I think he's going to beat last year. Another comment as well. You should play Onana. I'm starting Diego Dallo. Okay, done. If he wasn't, well, I bought him for 5 million. If Onana wasn't 5 million, then I probably would have played Turner instead. But I think, Matt, you said to me on one of your deadline streams that you should always play your most expensive goalkeeper. So that's what I'm going to do and hope for the best. Also got another comment. I might be overthinking it, but can Liverpool set up with a back four on paper with, exactly what I was just saying, with Van Dijk, Matip and Gomez and Trent with a back three on possession and Trent inverted in midfield? Yeah, exactly what I was just saying, that I think they can put a centre back there, as Trent does like to go into midfield, and because it basically is a back three, even with Robertson there. So that's definitely a good point, and I think that's why just give it a week for Tsimikas and see how they go against Everton. Yeah,
that could happen, and they could also they could play it like that, and then like Van Dijk's not necessarily going to play, like you said, how Robertson played. And they might be able to tighten up a bit at the back, and then Trent kind of gets a free roll. So give it that week, like you said. I think got to just wait and see.
Yeah, 100%. So we've got a couple comments in from FPL Mez. So, hey guys, hi Mez, nice to have you on the stream.
Hello.
Definitely check out Mez's channel and new what's it called, Twitter Spaces, for some really, really good content too. So yeah, next question. So best 1 week punt before game week 10 wildcard. So I've kind of narrowed down here for a bit of help for us for the best fixtures, I guess, this game week. So we've got Villa, Bournemouth, Brentford, Liverpool, City, United, Newcastle, Forest, Spurs, and Wolves. I've put my 3 options on the screen, so but if you're going to add any different ones,
Chris Wood.
Yeah.
What's going on?
So we'll start with Chris Wood then. There's a method behind my madness. So Awoni's injured, so I feel like Chris Wood is going to be playing, and they have Luton at home. If you're looking for a 1 week punt, I don't think you can beat Chris Wood in terms of punt. I don't think anyone probably owns him. Maybe Chris Wood owns himself, but apart from that, I don't think anyone owns Chris Wood. Richarlison, I think Brennan Johnson should still be out for the Fulham at home game.
Yeah, true.
Yes, I'm not sure where Brazil played in the international break, if they played in Brazil or not, but yeah, I think it will start on the left, guaranteed. Spurs don't really have anyone else there, so he'll definitely start. It's just can he start delivering? That is the question. And I do like Bruno Fernandes as well. Yes, he's expensive, but it's only for 1 week on penalties. Sheffield United away. If you're looking for Man United to have a revival against any team, it's probably going to be Sheffield United. So that's my kind of 3 picks. Thanks for your question, FPL Stomach. FPL Matt Day, what do you reckon?
In terms of the 1 week punt, Wood is a very, very interesting one. Yeah, big punt, but I'm not someone I'm too keen on. Richarlison, I've tried with him for over a year now, and it's like the Luton game was probably one of the last straws for me, even though I do like his, I like his determination and stuff, but yeah, maybe Fulham could be the one he grabs that goal. I think Bruno is definitely a good 1 week punt for sure. I'm liking Hojlund, the striker from Man United, the Danish kid. Baby Haaland's what I've been calling him. I think he's like, I think it's a good fixture, the Sheffield United one for him. And Almiron for Newcastle. I'm really liking him for a week as well. He's had some pretty good underlying numbers. So they're probably 2 I'm liking. And then if I was going to go just to have a Spurs pick, I'm still going to stick with as a 1 week punt, Kulusevski. I don't know why. I thought he was quite good against Luton. He was good on the ball. He was so unlucky not to score when the keeper made that save. So I'd probably say, Kulu, Hojlund, and Almiron, probably my sort of 3 1 week punts. But who the best one is, there's too many.
No, and it's such a it is a punt, so you're not really going on much, to be honest. Maybe someone that's picking up form, and it's kind of a player that you just need to have that one-off game week. To be honest, so.
Yeah, true.
Potentially with my team, keep an eye out for my team selection video later on in the week. But potentially with my team, I will be going for a 1 week punt, as I potentially could be playing my wild card in game week 10. It's going to be a midfielder, so it's going to be Bruno, maybe Richarlison, maybe Diaz.
Diaz,
Jota, depends who starts.
Yeah, so, I think Jota's not bad actually, because Diaz has had the minutes for international. So Jota, interesting one.
Yeah, no, definitely. Hopefully we get some early team news. Another question, another statement from FPL Studs. So Bruno, for me, his data is unreal, but massively underachieving at the minute. And he's on penalties as well. If Man United are going to turn it around, they're going to need them dodgy penalties and need Bruno and Rashford to step up as well, to be honest, because Rashford did score in the England game, so hopefully that can revive him as a Rashford owner. We've got FPL Mez here, so excited about the Sydney FPL meetup. So if you are from Sydney, definitely check that out. Go over to FPL Mez's Twitter, and you can meet up with other FPL managers that are in Sydney, I guess. PSB says Morgan Gibbs-White I like as a punt. Yeah, I do like that one. Is there a bit of controversy about him starting, though? I'm not too sure. I think he hasn't really started this season, but then the last 3 games he has been. But I do, yeah, I think Gibbs White is a baller, to be honest. And like I said, 1 week punt, why not? Yeah. And yeah, we'll go on to the next slide and save the next comments for a bit later. So best defender. So best defender 4.9 million or under from FPL Stomach again. So I've kind of listed the top performing defenders here. So if you wanted to under 4 million, so if you wanted to have a look at a few, obviously the fixtures play a big part in that. I've gone for kind of Kufau, so the West Ham wing back. He's got 4 assists in his last 4. I'm literally been singing his praises for the last few weeks, and I think West Ham's fixtures, although they haven't been great, I think they've got Villa away next, and then they've got some really, really good fixtures. So for me, I think he's attacking. I think West Ham look pretty solid this season. I think that they're being a bit harshly criticised, and I think Moyes has always been so unlucky. Like I feel West Ham fans are just never really happy with him. He's just won them a trophy in about 50 years. They haven't won a trophy, and it's a European trophy, albeit a Mickey Mouse trophy. But I'm sure me and Matt would love to win. Yeah, me and Matt would love to win I'd love to win any trophy next to our Audi Cup. So yeah, I've gone for him. So he's got Everton at home in game week 10 onwards, Brentford away, Forest at home, Burnley away, Crystal Palace at home. So some really great fixtures, and 4 assists in the last 4 as well is another big one. Also, Gabriel is only 4.7 million. Yes, Arsenal's fixtures are not the best, but I think to get into the Arsenal defence for 4.7 million is a steal. Chelsea away, which it could be tough to break down, but I think defensively a clean sheet is looking good for Arsenal. Sheffield United at home, bank a clean sheet. Newcastle away, yes, that's tough. But then they've got Burnley, Brentford, Wolves, Luton, and then they've got quite a bit of a tough run in from 16 onwards. But for the next 5 or 6, I don't hate Arsenal defence. What do you reckon, Matt? Who do you reckon best defender, 4.9 million or under?
Yeah, you've definitely named some good ones. Udogi's still my favourite for 4.9. Even seeing him for Italy last night, how good he is going forward, and I feel like he's got a big return in him over the next, sort of 4 or 5 games at some point. So I like him. Tsimikas, who we spoke about before, I think with him coming in at 4.4 mil, if we can give him that 1 week, like we mentioned, he can end up just being an absolute revelation for that price in Liverpool team and Liverpool's good fixtures. And then I'd probably have to say, probably Gabriel getting in at 4.7 million for a starting defender for Arsenal, as long as he continues to start. Can't really knock that when, he got Sheffield after this Chelsea game, which they won 1-0 at Stamford Bridge last season anyway. So after this Chelsea game, Sheffield United, I think you mentioned there was like Luton in there as well, Wolves, Brentford, teams that haven't. Wolves have attacked a bit more this season, but teams that aren't traditionally scoring high amounts of goals. So, he does it like he could be quite a good pick. So they're probably my 3 for 4.9 mil under, but definitely I think Udogi's got a lot, but he's got a massive score coming in him at some point, I think. He's been unlucky. I thought he was unlucky not to get a couple of returns against Luton as well. So, yeah, I do like him.
Yeah, and he looked really good in the England game as well. I saw a bit of the highlights. Good. I didn't watch the whole game, but I saw him go on a run. So would you say, so FPL Mez is asking, which Spurs defender would you recommend? Would that be Udogi no matter what the budget? Or
still not my number one though. Porro is my number one.
Yeah, nice.
Pedro Porro has got a massive score on him soon as well. Both of them do. But I think Porro, it was against Luton when he should have scored in like the first, I don't know if it was like 10 minutes. And then he had that shot in the second half of the outside the boot. He's got a goal return in him. I'm gonna say this week, I think he's gonna score against Fulham at home.
Nice.
So for me, Porro is, I love Udogi, but I think Porro, because he's more expensive than he wasn't in the 4.9 mil category. So for me, Porro is the one I would go for. But if you can't afford him, then you go Udogi and then Van de Ven, and then probably Romero. Even though Romero's been getting the points, but yeah, it's great to talk about Spurs players again.
I know. I feel like I remember I said to you on I think we did a video with FPL Matches of Oz, Quinton, about, I think it was about our kind of fantasy FPL teams, and we're talking about how it's like related to our team that we support doing well. I think it's definitely the case. When Ali and Son and Eriksen and Kane were doing well, I was flying, and now Spurs haven't been doing great the last few years. I've been not doing great either, so there's definitely a correlation, I think. Let us know what team you support and whether you think there's a correlation between your team doing well and your FPL doing well. We'll move on to.
There definitely is.
Then, yeah, it's a great conversation.
If you play it as a football fan, then which is why I got into playing FPL anyway. It's just through, being a Spurs fan, watching football, playing FPL, and then you can't not pick the players from your team when they're doing well, or even when they're not. You still think they're going to do well.
Yeah,
every year.
Yeah, I know, and it's so hard to differentiate from, am I being a deluded fan, or are they actually a good pick? It's so hard to know the difference, and there's been so many times where, even with the Son captain picks, I know, I felt even last week on your deadline, a couple of weeks ago now, on your deadline stream, you asked me who's your captain. I said Son's my captain. You asked me, who do you think is the best captain? I said Salah's the best captain.
Yeah, you did.
I just don't own Salah. And everyone most people thought Son was the best captain, or Son was still a good captain. But I don't know, there's just a little inkling that I feel like Luton are going to be hard to break down. Obviously, the red card made a big difference, but there was just something there that just didn't think it was going to be a 4-0, 5-0 game. But because he is a Tottenham player, it kind of put pressure on me to be like, well, I don't want everyone to captain him and him to get 20 points and me not having captain. It's just not going to feel right. So I ended up giving in to peer pressure and captaining Son to save that embarrassment. But yeah, we'll go on to the next slide. If you are tuned in, please make sure you like the video. It does really help me out, and get the video to be seen everywhere and help the YouTube algorithm. So this video is from at Tactiques, at FPL Bold Art. So Solanke or Edouard. So there was a bit of talk about Edouard being injured, but he's actually not flagged anymore. We've spoke about Solanke already on the stream. What do you reckon, Matt? Solanke or Edouard?
To be fair, Edouard's been getting some returns this season. He's let me down personally a lot in the past when I've had him in FPL, whereas Solanke hasn't. And he's been getting returns this season as well, like you mentioned. But to pick one, I'm going to say Solanke right now. If it's right now, you've got to pick him based on those next two games, Wolves, Burnley. Okay, the City away, and the Newcastle home. But Sheffield United away is a good fixture, and then Villa again at home. So for me, 1, 2, 3, 4 home games out of Solanke against 2 home games for Edouard. Solanke, there's too many home games. I think it's too good. Yeah. And he's pretty much guaranteed to start. There's been times with Palace where Edouard will just disappear and not play, and it's no one knows where he's gone. So yeah, Solanke for me.
Yeah, I kind of agree, especially with them that home games as well. Yes, Bournemouth have looked shocking this season, but I think Palace with no Eze is a big miss. I think they're going to struggle to score any goals. I don't know if anyone remembers kind of when Zaha used to be out before kind of Elise Eze times. Palace couldn't, they don't score. Everyone knows Palace don't score goals. They struggle to score goals. But with Eze and Elise and Zaha, that kind of changed a little bit, I'd say. And with Roy Hodgson coming in, kind of changed a little bit. But I think with no Eze, Elise's still out, Zaha's gone. I think Palace will struggle to score goals. I'm not saying Bournemouth are free scoring, but I think they are probably better than Palace are attacking wise. You could also play or get Solanke for 2 and then swap to Edouard. But for me, I do think there are better options out there. But I do like Edouard. We've got a question come in from K7. So going forward, is it Diaby, Neto, or Gordon? So Matt, what do you reckon? Diaby's obviously a bit more expensive. But...
Yeah, look, I'm going to say Neto. I'm probably being biased because again, I put him in my team in wildcard in game week 8, and he returned, but he should have had more than the assist. He should have scored. He missed a good chance, and he's on fire this season. And Wolves are actually playing really good attacking football under Gary O'Neill. I'm preferring Neto. I think he's one of Wolves' main sources of goals and assists. Whereas with Gordon, although I like his price, and Newcastle obviously are a better side than Wolves, you're still not sure who they're always going to play in that attack, especially with the Champions League. Diaby I really like as well, but he's obviously a bit more expensive. And I think if you've got Watkins, you could probably cover yourself. And also if you've got Matt Cash, who attacks anyway. So for me, yeah, I'm liking Wolves' fixtures. I'm liking the way they're playing under Gary O'Neill. He just looks something about Neto this season. He's brilliant to watch, and he's just dominating matches. That run he did against Man City a few weeks ago, he skinned like two or three players, and it was just like, he's another one like Pedro Porro, who I think was going to score against Fulham. He's another one. Neto, I think this week he's got a goal or another goal in him against Bournemouth away. So yeah, for me, Neto.
Yeah, are you worried about his? Like he's a baller. Like no one's going to dispute that. But are you worried about his? I wouldn't say end product, but his FPL end product. So is it too many assists rather than getting goals? So he's only got 1 goal this season, but he has got 6 assists. Or do you think that's fine for a player of that price, 5.7 million?
Yeah, it's a good question. Look, you know what? Because all the assists he's got, I'm kind of happy for someone at that price to tick along, because when he does score, he's going to get probably an assist with it, hopefully, and you're going to end up with a pretty good score. And then as you accumulate that over like a number of weeks, it's actually going to be quite good, I reckon. So yeah, I'm actually not too worried this season with the form he's on and what I've seen and the way Gary O'Neill teams play, and what his Wolves team looking like. I'm actually not as concerned with his FPL form, but his injuries I can be a bit concerned about because his injury record hasn't been great, so that does worry me. But I think, at 5.7 million, if he's going to get 5 assists in the next 6 games, but then doesn't score, in that time, I'll still take it, because if he then scores in 5 or 6 games with an assist, I feel like over that time he's going to get a lot of points. So,
yeah, no, not 100%. And then, like you said, the player for that price, you don't need them. You don't need them to get 15 points. Like, you just need them to get anything really. Even a clean sheet is great for that price, I think. But I think if you do have the money, I probably would go DRB. I think Villa's fixtures do look great, especially that Luton at home game. Neto's fixtures are a bit strange. So I think they've got Sheffield United. And then who have they got this week? They've got a really good fixture this week.
Bournemouth.
But they're
away.
Okay, yeah, Bournemouth away. So 2 good fixtures in the next 3. But I feel like in between, they've got, like, for example, Bournemouth, City, Sheffield United, Newcastle, Forest, Man United. So they've got, like, it's like alternates. But we've seen what he did to Man City, so I think he is playable in that role. I do think he's a better option than Gordon, as well as Gordon. Barnes is out, but there are other options out there for Newcastle, and if he's playing Champions League, etc., he might get rested the odd league game. So I'd probably go DRB if you have the money, and then Neto if you're struggling, basically. We've got a question. I think it's a question. I've got a comment anyway. So from PSB. So it's the dreaded game week 9. Get your captaincy right. Historically, we have had big cap swings. Havertz gate a couple seasons back. Haaland and Salah swing last year. Absolutely dreadful. Wow. Okay, I didn't know that game week 9 is the captain swing week. So who's your captain, PSB? That'll be good to know.
The
And have
Havertz one
you
was
known someone?
hilarious.
Was that the 8-9-0? Was it?
Yeah, the 8-0 when he didn't get any returns. Then he got subbed off. And then the Haaland and Salah one, I was on the wrong end of that last year. That was horrible. I think that was the 9-0 as well, like against
Bournemouth,
Southampton.
was it?
Oh, was it?
And
Yeah,
did
against
Haaland
Bournemouth.
have Haaland had United? Was it, or and he got a hat trick?
Yeah, it must be that one. Yeah, that was dreadful. So
yeah,
it's going to be tough this week. You know what? Yeah, see who PSP is going to captain, but I think that could happen this week between Haaland and Salah, and I think Salah might get a goal, maybe an assist, and Liverpool will win that game. But Haaland could just come out and bang in one of his home hat tricks and shut everyone up, maybe. But yeah, we'll see. As long as I'm not on the bad end.
yeah, yeah. No, I'll probably go Haaland that's who I'm probably going to go for. I think that Havertz, was that a double game week or something? I'm not too sure. It was a bit early on, but no, it wasn't.
No,
so I remember there was a week where everyone did captain like a Havertz or Chelsea. Everyone captained Chelsea for some reason, and I captained Reece James. I can't remember if it was that week or maybe not, and I remember Reece James.
I remember that. I think that was last season, and Reece James. The last season and one before, and Reece James played the first game. Might have been last season. He got tons of points. Then he got injured for the second game. Yeah, because he come back from an injury, got loads against Burnley, but then got injured again. But he's back. Actually, talking to Reece James, he's back this week from injury. So I'm sure we'll all be talking about him again in a couple of games.
Yeah, no, but they got Gusto now, so it's not as not as a big of a rush to rush him back, because Gusto does look really, really good too. So PSP says Haaland. Yeah, Haaland played United, 23 points. Salah Brighton, 5 points. That's rough. I had Salah as well, I'm pretty sure as well. But that is rough.
This was the one. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, Salah got a hat trick against United. He actually got a hat trick at Old Trafford, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
It was like 20 something points because he might have got an assist, and they won like 5-0. And it was like crazy. Yeah, he's right.
Wow. So conclusion is target United, might captain Cameron Archer.
He'll probably score this weekend.
Yeah, no, especially with I thought you said Onana's keeping a clean sheet. You can't
no, PSB said that. I didn't realise Turner was your number 2, so
yeah. Well, PSP was saying that, yeah. So yeah, if you have Cameron Archer, put the captain's armband on. So talking about Haaland, from Voice of Newcastle is why are people selling Haaland? The big question of the last few weeks. The fixtures, like I said, with Alvarez, Brighton at home, United away, Bournemouth at home, Chelsea away, and then Liverpool, Spurs. So Matt, why are people selling Haaland?
They're selling him because he's 14 million and he's obviously not been. Think about Haaland. I've said this. I know he got 36 goals last season, but a lot of people always think I'm deluded when I say this, but he got a lot of isolated hat tricks. So he got a hat trick against Nottingham Forest. He got a hat trick against Crystal Palace. He got a hat trick against Wolves. Got a hat trick against Man United. Then he got, I think it was 2 goals against Leeds away. And then there was another hat trick in there against, another team in the bottom half. So he got 17 of his goals across about 4 games. And outside of that, he didn't score in as many individual games as what Harry Kane did. So Harry Kane scored less goals, 6 less goals, but he scored in more games. So now Haaland has had a couple of game weeks where he hasn't scored, or he might have just got 6 points. People think all of a sudden, he's got to sell him. He's not worth the money. But the thing about Haaland is he gets those isolated hauls, and they're absolutely massive when he gets them. So if you've sold him for one of those isolated hauls and everyone's captained him that game week, you're well and truly done. So, but people are selling him because they're used to those big isolated hauls that we saw at the start of last season. But Man City haven't had, I guess, some of those. They've had some good fixtures, but maybe not the same types of fixtures. But if you look at this next 6 games, Brighton, with the amount of goals they've been conceding, home is where Haaland gets his goals. There could be a hat-trick in that. Bournemouth home, there could be a hat-trick in that. Liverpool and even Spurs at home, he could score a goal in at least one of those, a goal in each one. It's just the away games where you look at it with Haaland, he just seems to really go missing in those away games and doesn't even get involved in the match. But I wouldn't risk it. Like I just wouldn't even risk it when Haaland has a home game. I wouldn't even risk not having him in your team, especially like that Bournemouth and Brighton one. If you don't have him and aren't captaining him, I'd be very, very worried because he can hit hat tricks at any moment. That he's an unreal finisher. And I know there's no De Bruyne, but he's a punisher. He's an absolute punisher.
Yeah, and like you said, if he does get one of them hat tricks, it's almost season defining. Like as you know, last season you didn't captain him, and you still owned him, right?
No,
didn't have him.
Yeah, didn't have him for that Man United one. I didn't captain him for that Man United one that PSB mentioned, but I didn't have him for the first. I had him for the first day of the season. West Ham, another one, he got 2 goals. Had him for that one, but then there was 2 of those back-to-back hat tricks he got in like game weeks 3 and 4. And I did this like strange move where I thought De Bruyne was all of a sudden the pick and not Haaland. And then, it completely ruined my whole season. It ruined my whole season.
Yeah.
And if you're selling Haaland in game week 9 and he gets a hat trick, and I know Brighton are a good team, so it might not happen, but it could still happen because it's Man City at home and it's Haaland. Or you sell him now and you don't bring him back for 6 games, he could get a hat trick in either Brighton or Bournemouth. And it's not a nice feeling. Just do it at your own risk. I'm not doing it again.
You've heard it here first. Someone that has been through it, someone with lived experience of not owning Haaland. So if you need any other reason why you should still have Haaland in your team, definitely listen to Matt there. For me, I do get why people are selling him, but I think there's a big if. I think if Harry Kane was still in the league, I think fair enough, as you can go to Harry Kane, save that 1.5 million, save how much whatever Harry Kane would be 12.5, I'd guess. Save that 1.5 million, maybe go for a Trippier instead of a Botman, or obviously it's not enough, but for that example, upgrade one of the other positions. But there's no Harry Kane, so where are you spending your money? Yes, you can go Salah. Yes, you can go Saka, Maddison, Son, Watkins, Trippier, Trent, whatever. But it's not as reliable as Haaland. Haaland, okay, people are saying he's not had a great season. He's still got 8 goals, and 8 goals, 8 games, 1 assist. Like, it's still ridiculous. If he ends the season with 38 goals, it's still an incredible season. Like, it's still not, when I'm saying still, I mean it is an incredible season. So I don't get it. Good luck to you if you are selling Haaland. You're going to need it, as he's going to score a hat-trick this week. So definitely good luck to you. So
you're right, though. You're right. Oscar, you're right, though, because like if Kane was still in the league and it was under Ange Postecoglou was a Spurs manager, you're probably like, you know what? You could probably get away with it for a couple of game weeks because Kane would be scoring goals for fun, but there's no one else like outside of Watkins who's like 6 million cheaper anyway. There isn't kind of strikers that you're like we're eager to get. There's only 2 real premium players at the moment, Salah and Haaland. So you might as well spend the money. And looking at Haaland now, I've just pulled up he's had 2 blanks, both in away games. Fair enough, but we've already said away games is where he's notoriously not always got he's not got his hat tricks on the road. But then he had a home game in he then had 4 back-to-back returns: Forest, West Ham, Fulham home. Got 20 points. Like, do you want to be missing out on those 20-point hauls? Like, I just wouldn't risk it. I always wouldn't risk it, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I doubt it. Speaking of Harry Kane and Ange, so a lot of people have been getting in Spurs assets, as we've been talking about. Udogie, Porro, Son, Maddison, maybe even Richarlison, maybe even Ricario, some people. How long do you think, this question from K7, how long should we hold these Spurs assets? Is it just now while they've got Luton, while they had Sheffield United, Luton, and they've got Fulham at home? Is it just a fixtures thing, or how long should we be holding these Spurs assets?
I'm going to say, I think some are season keepers. Udogie and Porro, at least one of them could potentially be a season keeper. Spurs have got no Europe this year, already out the League Cup as well. So they're just game to game, and they could almost be quite fixture-proof, those players. And then Maddison, again, he could be a season keeper. I just think you could end up holding on to these players for the rest of the season. You can even just have one. Maddison could be someone you just keep with the whole season, and then you kind of bring the others in as they go. But yeah, I think you're just going to end up gaining so much value in them. You're probably not going to end up wanting to sell these guys. And I think Spurs will have a strong season. Now there's no Europe. Definitely, I feel like there's at least a sort of top 6 position in there, and they're going to consistently get good results and score goals and attack. So yeah, I actually think they're long-term holds. Udogie, Porro, Maddison are sort of the 3. I think you can consistently keep at least one of them. And then the others, it's kind of, all right, pick and choose their games. Maybe see how Son's fitness kind of goes. If he can check off a couple of these niggles, he's another one. If he's leading that line for the rest of the season, then a midfielder who's playing as a centre forward every single week, yeah, could end up being a keep as well. So I'm going to say the whole season.
If obviously things
whilst
carry
wearing
on.
a Spurs top.
It's a wrong people to answer to ask that question or to answer that question. For me, I don't know if the defense is essential. I don't think defensively we've been that good, but I guess Udogie and Porro haven't been putting them attacking returns in. They haven't been getting assists or goals like that, like a Rose and Walker. So for me, I don't think defense is a season keeper, but I think definitely Son or Maddison. I think Maddison, probably just because of the price, is a season keeper. Yes, Son is going to be is going to get these 12 pointers, 15 pointers, but I don't think they're going to tick over. Whereas Maddison's going to get an assist, going to get a goal, going to get an assist. So for me, if we had to put a time frame, I'd probably go up to the Chelsea game, and maybe if you needed a spot. If you don't need the spot, I don't think Chelsea is a really hard game. But if you needed the spot, then maybe you could go Son to Saka, or if you got the money, Maddison to Saka. But if not, I'd just keep him, to be honest. I think the way Spurs are playing, no one's going to get in their way. We've seen score 2 goals against Liverpool, 2 goals against Arsenal, and that's some of the toughest games we're going to get. So for me, yeah, like Matt said, season keeper, just not sure in the defence. We'll move on to the next one, the next slide. But it's so nice to be asked Spurs questions, and good positive Spurs questions. Not should we target Spurs?
It's good.
So question from Voice of Newcastle. So why are managers buying Watkins and Salah? So I don't own Watkins or Salah, so I can't really answer this because I'm not buying Watkins and Salah. So Matt, do you own Watkins or Salah?
I got them both on wildcard in game week 9. Game week 8, I keep saying game week 9 in game week 8. And I did it, and Salah got a couple of goals. I know he wasn't involved in a huge amount of Liverpool's opportunities, but he was still able to come out and grab a couple of goals. Obviously one from the spot, and then Watkins assist, and then he hit the post with seconds to go, and it was so close to going in. If that goes in, he ends up in 12 points. That's the reason I'm buying Watkins and Salah, because they are almost involved in nearly every other goal scored by their clubs. They're so involved in the goals that Aston Villa score, he's involved in at least every second goal in some capacity, whether it's an assist or whether he scores. And Salah's exactly the same for Liverpool. And it looks like he's still on pens for them so far this season. So, and like we mentioned before, there's no Harry Kane this season. De Bruyne is injured. So the premium options, there's not many. So you're only really having Salah and Haaland. So I think you can afford to have Salah. And yeah, so I think managers are buying them because they're like the main goal threats and assist threats for their clubs. And in that run for Salah, it would not put it past me if he returns in Everton, Forest, Luton. Actually, it wouldn't put it past me if he returns either a goal and an assist as a minimum in nearly every single one of those games. And then with Watkins, I can see him returning at least 50% of those games in some capacity, whether it's a goal against Luton, a goal against Fulham, and an assist. I can see, both of them getting points in these runs. I think they're great picks.
Yeah, no. As a non-owner, I agree. They are great picks. Especially with the fixtures, like you said. Villa's fixtures haven't really turned that good yet. So, but from game week 10, Luton, Forest, and Fulham, and then you got Bournemouth as well in there after Spurs. So really, really great fixtures. I am a bit worried though that Watkins doesn't take penalties, but I think he gives enough in terms of I think he gives enough in terms of assists and goals. If he was just scoring goals, then maybe that could be an issue. But because he does chip in with the assists as well, I think that's fine. And yeah, Salah, I think he's kind of gone onto a new, I won't say a new level, but a different level this season. I think he's becoming much more of like a playmaker. He's getting the assists and the goals. Whereas I think in seasons gone by, probably could be a little bit greedy and be mainly a goal scorer. But I think this season you're going to be getting assists from him quite a lot. And then fixtures like Forest and Everton at home, on paper, then Luton, you can't really ask for much better. So I think the fixtures are why people buying them, and they're just really good assets that are going to get you goals and assists. Speaking on Watkins and Salah, we've got Robert here saying best captain for this week between Salah, Ollie Watkins, and Haaland. What do you reckon, Matt?
Haaland, because I'm bored of doing the early kickoff. I think it's difficult after international breaks because the team and the squad together, it's true, they will not have much time together. It'll be like the Friday or even the Saturday morning, some of the players will get back. So they don't have that week in training that you'd normally get. So it makes that early kickoff even harder. Although I like that Everton game for Liverpool, and I do think Salah will score. I just think Man City will get the job done this week against Brighton, and I think they'll pick up a big win at home. I think Brighton, brilliant side, but they're going to concede a few goals. I can see it being maybe Haaland getting a couple. So yeah, Haaland for me this week.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that's a good fixture for Salah. I wouldn't captain Watkins at all, but Salah potentially. The only thing that worries me is Sean Dyche and setting up, going there 10 men behind the ball. And Everton have actually got a few results recently as well. That's terrible, but they beat Brentford, I'm pretty sure. But they have been getting a few results recently. So yeah, but I'd go for Haaland. We've got another comment here. So Nepali Api is saying face green smiling. I'm guessing that's an emoji.
That's an emoji,
I can't read. Saying to Robert that I have 3 of them. So Nepali has all 3 options. So that's a great position to be in. I only have Haaland. So I'm going to be going for Haaland. And then we've got another comment as well from Robert to say who to captain. Another question from K7. So question, guys, any thoughts on Diaz? So my team selection video will be dropping tomorrow. I'm going to be probably taking out, barring any injuries, and Saka's fine and Botman's fine. I'll probably be taking out Mbeumo, and Diaz is on the list. I would be a little bit cautious about Diaz though, as Jota's now back from suspension, and I'm not too sure where Diaz played. So I don't know if Colombia played in South America or they had a European game or etc. I'm guessing it's gonna be qualification for Copa America, so I'm guessing it's going to be in South America. For me, I'd just be a bit wary. We might get early team use as it is the early fixture, so I would wait for that. Also with Diaz, I don't know if he has the output consistently. I think he is a great player, but I don't know if he has the GNA for FPL. What do you reckon, Matt?
Yeah, I reckon I do like him as a pick from. I like that Luton game for Diaz. I like these fixtures for Diaz, but I am worried about international minutes. I think they're saying he's going to arrive back potentially late. So yeah, I really like him as a player, and I like the potential for him when we know he's going to get a run of fixtures, because we just don't know if that's definitely going to happen right now. Yeah, I'll have to say similar to Rue. If there's a better midfield option to have over him this week, then you've got to do it. But yeah, difficult one because he's a good player, very good player.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I just don't know if I'd be bringing him in. I think it's a bit too risky.
I wouldn't be bringing him in. No, I wouldn't bring him in.
That's it for the questions on the screen, but we'll go through a few comments. If you are still here, please make sure you do like the video. It does help out the YouTube algorithm and help out the channel. So a question here. So is Tsimikas a good option? From Roy Printac. So we did cover that earlier on in the video, but we'll give a little recap. He is a good option, but he's a transfer waiting to happen. When Robertson comes back from injury, he'll be straight back in the team. And potentially Liverpool could go free at the back with 3 centre-backs and Trent kind of play a bit further forward, as Robertson was kind of playing as a left centre-back rather than a left wing-back. But anything to add, Matt?
Nah, same as what Rue said. I think it's a wait and see. I'd see if he definitely plays against Everton this week and what Liverpool's kind of plans are. And then, if he plays and looks good, then I'd be looking at aiming from Luton kind of onwards. But yeah, wait and see.
Yeah. We've got another comment from K7. So Haaland cap this week. Don't overthink it. Yeah, I'm all for that. Don't overthink it. Haaland home fixture. Brighton leaking goals. You can't really ask for more than that. Question as well from Nepali Abhi. So which Brighton asset can be considered for game week 10? Thoughts on, so we'll go with that one first, that first question. For me, I do like Matoma and Estupiñán if he's back by then. But I'd probably only go for Matoma. I think Ferguson, Welbeck, they all kind of take minutes off each other. So for me, I'd probably just say Matoma. What about you, FPL Matt Day?
Yeah, Matoma. I do like Solly March when we know he's getting minutes in the league. I like Solly March as well because he can just appear out of nowhere. If you know you're going to get a start out of Solly March and get sort of game week to 10, I do like him, but I think Matoma is just a little bit more trustworthy. So probably Matoma 1 and then Solly March 2.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I'm not sold on Brighton's defence. They haven't kept a clean sheet this season, so I'd stay away from their defence, to be honest. And their fixtures are great from game week 10, so I think they are definitely on the watch list. But it's just who, and I think Matoma's probably the best one. Thoughts on baby Haaland, as you call him, Matt, and Wilson regarding attacking returns for coming fixtures. So who would you go for, or what would you think on both of them?
I like baby Haaland. He's in my side. I kind of took a gamble on him in game week 8, and United won the game, and he was there and thereabouts. But I kind of bought him with the idea of, all right, he could potentially fire in this Sheffield United game. I do like him because Man United, I think he's gonna score some goals in this run. So I do like him. And Wilson, I actually like Callum Wilson in FPL when we know he's starting because he scores goals. So they got good fixtures. Isaac's got a little bit of a knock. So I like both of the picks. And yeah, I'd probably kind of say they're quite similar right now in terms of, I could split them down the middle and there wouldn't be one that I'd kind of prefer over the other right now. Both are playing in the Champions League. So, it's hard there could be an injury waiting to happen, but maybe Hojlund just slightly edges it over Wilson because he's probably guaranteed more consistent starts, but you could split them down the middle. And I like both picks because I don't think outside of Watkins and Haaland, I don't think there's many strikers that are nailed to be in our teams this season.
Yeah, no, 100%. And if Wilson was guaranteed starts, if Isak was out, then fair enough. I'd probably go for Wilson, but you can't guarantee that. And with Champions League, there's going to be rotation. It does look like Wilson is the Premier League striker, and Isak's the Champions League one, but you can't guarantee that. So I'd probably go for Hojlund if I had to choose. And I guess if it was an open question, I'd probably just stick with Watkins if you can afford Watkins. To be honest, I don't think it's worth the hassle. But I think, like you said, Hojlund is an interesting pick that I think will come good at some point this season if United decide to turn up. So K7 with more of a comment in the question. Just get that up. So I took a punt on Diaz on wildcard 8. I'm wondering if he's to hold. I think if you've got him, hold him. But I'm not sure I'd bringing him in like Matt said. Anything to add, Matt?
No, I agree. I think yeah. See how he goes if you own him.
Yeah, and I think it's the perfect. I'm not sure. I think he's maybe just cheaper than Saka, but if you don't have Saka, you could save it and go for Saka. If not, I'm sure there'll be another option around that price point. Another question is from Roy Printak. So Nunes can give some points this week. So do you think Nunes is a good option for this week, Matt?
He's such a good player he looks good when he plays and he gets in so many great positions. But I know he scored, I think, was it against Brazil for Uruguay? He just scored in the one and he looked quite sharp. But again, they reckon his flight lands in quite sort of touch and go. If we get the news that he's going to start, I think he will get points. To answer the question, yes, if he starts, he'll get points. If he doesn't start and he's on the bench, then it's going to be hard to get, even though he's done it before, it's a lot harder to get points in a sort of 20-minute, 10-minute sub appearance than it is 90 minutes. So yeah, if he starts, I think he actually grabs a goal. If he doesn't, then I think it will be a sub appearance, and then you just hope that he might come on and get a late winner or a late sort of goal or something. But yeah, if he starts, he'll get points.
Yeah, I'm with that thought as well. I think there is a stat out there that says Klopp doesn't play Nunes after international break, or you normally rest him after international break. So definitely something to keep in mind and get on them flight trackers and see when his plane lands. But they've got Jota back now, so that makes me think that Jota's had less of a travel. So I think Jota might start over him in the forward position, or even on the left if Diaz. I guess I reckon it'll be like a test of who's less jet lagged over Diaz and Nunes, to be honest. K7 with a comment of great stuff, guys. Thanks for tuning in, K7, and thanks for your questions. And Nepali as well. Thank you so much for answering all my doubts. Love, mate. Cheers, mate. Thanks for tuning in. Well, if there's no more questions, I'd like to thanks, Matt, for coming onto the channel. It's not a normal thing doing a live stream, so hopefully it's a thing for the future. And we can keep going and keep live streaming. And everyone check out FPL Matt Day. So at FPL Matt Day on X, Twitter. Okay, X and Twitter is the same thing. X, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Threads. Anywhere else? All good.
No, that's all of it. Like Rue said, it's been great to come on the stream, and it's good to do live streams with Rue. But X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, FPL Matt Day, you'll see me on there. I'm on Rue's comments quite a bit on his posts, and then YouTube and Instagram and Threads as well. But Insta, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok are the main ones.
Yeah, definitely go Go check him out on there, and drop his channel a subscribe as well. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We just got a couple last minute questions, and we'll quickly sneak them in. So hi, Rue and Matt from Ethan. Hello, mate. Cheers for joining us. And we've got another question coming in. If you are in this stream still, please make sure you do smash a like on the video. It really does help the channel out. And when the stream ends, quickly transfer over to the video and comment on that as well. So Peter says, I have done a Stupinan to Gehi and we'll wait on Eze transfer. I think that's fair enough. I think Gehi is not the best for the next 2 weeks, but I can see why you're going to do that. After that, their fixtures do look good. We'll get through these ones quickly. Roy, Bruno is a good option for this week. I would say yes. He was on my punt list, so I would be going Bruno as a 1 week punt. If you own him, I would be playing him. Anything to add, Matt?
No, I think he's a good pick this week. Definitely a great option.
And Profam Dwahan, should I transfer in Van Dijk? To be honest, I don't actually hate this option. He is a little bit expensive, but with Robertson now out, he's probably the next best option in terms of that Liverpool defence. And I think defensively they have been doing well. And we know Van Dijk can pop up with a bullet header. Matt, what do you reckon? Van Dijk in?
I don't mind it if they revert to this potential back three that we've been speculating on the podcast. Like we've been speculating it because we don't know if they're going to play Van Dijk, Matip and Gomez together. I would say hold off on that transfer. I wouldn't do it right now. See if Tsimikas plays against Everton. And if he does, go for the Tsimikas option because he's cheaper and he's playing on the left-hand side. But if he doesn't look like he's going to play, then I think, Van Dijk's then the next best bet. But I'd wait and see. And Van Dijk, I wouldn't make that move this week.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Well, that's it for the questions. If you do have any more questions, wait till the live stream's done and then comment in the comment section of the video. Do that anyway, as it does help other people see the stream. Go check out FPL Matt Day, like you said, on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, etc. I've been FPL. Please make sure you do subscribe to the channel and leave a comment as well in the comment section, as it does help out as well. And I'll catch you in the next video. Keep an eye out for transfer tips that's gone out today and team selection